Hey, and welcome back to Crazy Gamers Models. How's it going? This is going to be a little bit of a different video, and the camera's facing a little weird. I want to give you guys a little tour of the tools I use and what I use, and maybe perhaps where I got them, and some of them are interesting. So I thought I would start back here on my GameCraft paint tray, which this is supposed to be, but I use it to. It's designed to hold paint in these slots here, but they're the perfect size for a medicine bottle. So I filled all the slots with medicine bottles, and I have a various array of items in here. I have all my bent clothes cross gel tweezers, which are very handy for painting, for just modeling. I have magnets for various things. It's a range of size of magnets. There's so many in there I couldn't even start with telling you how many. These are all hobby saws. Um, these are Tamiya's saw line. I use them very often on different things. This is a piece of Tamiya photo etch that I use for spreading putty. You just cut up a piece with some Xuron photo etch shears. I'll show you those shortly. Tamiya paint stirrers, some pipettes, very tiny single tiny drop pipettes, and then I just cut the end of them off for a normal size pipette. And then I have different applicator brushes from Amazon. You get a pack of 4 different sizes of like 1,000 total for less than $2 or $3. It's insane. It's a lifetime supply of applicator brushes. And then in here I have my files, just cheapy files, and then I do have a photo etch file from Tamiya and a Citadel file. So, and then over here is glue loopers, little CA glue applicators. These are from Flexifile, and these are actual the Glue Looper brand. I have 3 different sizes: small, medium, and large. And they're nice because you just clean them with a lighter. And then I keep a this type scalpel there for cutting plastic styrene. It's a disposable one. I don't know the brand, cheapy brand. And here's all my panel line scribers. I have a Trumpeter one, and I have a Tamiya one. I have some RP production, Army production ones, but I don't have them in handles yet. Over here is just miscellaneous stuff like ruler, but these 3 tools are interesting. These come in a set from a tooling company called AFI. I got them when I was an engineer at a company. This is a rotoburr that if you have a straight edge of plastic or a hole that you want to clean up evenly, this is what you use that for. And this is a tiny up to 2 millimeter countersink. So when you drill that 1 millimeter hole in your plastic, and the drill breaks out the back end, you got all that nub there. This will clean that up to a nice flush surface. So this is it. It spins. This is a fantastic little gizmo tool. And this is a tri-point scraper. Um, I've used it to the point to where I've sharpened it 3 times, and I can't get it to hold an edge anymore, and the point's not as sharp as it was, but it still works for general purpose scraping and as an awl and a pointer. These 3 come in a set. I don't know how to get one outside of a business getting them, because they're kind of like you order tools, like we would order tools and we would get a free set. So I'm not sure how to go about and get one without that ability. And then I have 2 scalpels here. I have my 15 blade that I use for general purpose. scraping and removing nibs and things. And then I have a 10A here that is for photo etch. And sometimes I have to use it for scraping depending on, what happens. Mostly it ends up getting used for scraping because this number 15 in here, that's my photo etch blade. So I keep a separate one of that. And then I have a number 10A. Then I have a number 10A right here that I use for general purpose scraping, taking off nibs, things like that. It's the one I keep sharp. Over in this other area, I'll show you in a minute. I keep another one that's dull that I use for things. And then this is just a little container I got at Old Time Pottery filled with rice that I can put things in there and they sort of stand up. This method works really, really well if you use regular rice. I'm using minute rice, which isn't as tight as packly as just regular white rice that's uncooked. So, but we don't normally use that. Another thing back here that I did not mention was this. This little tool here, I don't know the manufacturer and I apologize, but it is a little teensy chisel. And it is awesome. And it comes with these little replacement heads of different sizes and different shapes. But I wish I knew where I got this from, because when you need to scrape paint from in an area or remove the debris from a ejector pin that's in the area around a lot of detail, they have a flat one and they have a rounded one that is fantastic for that purpose. That is a fantastic tool. I love that tool. Doesn't get used as much as, all my other tools, but man, when you need that tool, you need it. Then I have different paintbrushes for, this is my decal one because it's marked with purple, and then all the ones marked with blue are for Mr. Surfacer. I have a bottle of Zip Kicker. I have two pin vices, each with a 1mm and 2mm in there from doing my magnets. I have a different set of pin vices for other things. I have some different size stiff Q-tips. These are really compact compared to these right here. These you get in bulk on Amazon for $2 or $3 for thousands of them. And these are the Tamiya ones that are densely packed. I use these very rarely for the specific task I need those for. And then I use these for the bulk of it. And I also have these wooden stick Q-tip things that most of the time get sacrificed for their wooden stick. But they're another bulk buy. Then I have various little sanding sticks from Flexifile and some round sanding sticks and these are little cone-shaped sanders that have cone-shaped paper that doesn't stick. They claim it does, but it doesn't stick, but it's good for sanding a round surface, little beetle file kind of like, or sander. And then I have two different sprue goos. I have this one made with Tamiya that I don't particularly care for. And then I have this one that I made with Plastic Magic, because Plastic Magic as a glue I could not stand. I did not like it at all. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make this sprue goo. And it makes the best sprue goo, I think. I cut up some styrene and I made it to the consistency I want. It doesn't shrink back very much. It makes a fantastic sprue goo. And then I have my Tamiya extra thin, one for painted surfaces, one for non-painted surfaces. Yes, I'm weird like that. Same thing with the regular Tamiya. And then I have a Mr. Cement Deluxe and a Mr. Cement S. And then I also have a bottle of Flexi-Weld plastic welder that I use with this brush for getting into tight spaces. also on my main board, I keep Mr. Surfacer 500 and Mr. Primer Surfacer 1000. Sorry, 500. And then, the various cups. And then these are little offcuts from my trim sanders. Things like that. I know it's very crowded and very clustered, but I like it. It organizes everything. I haven't found anything else that is remotely close to what this does. And then back here are some wooden stirring sticks for epoxy or paint or whatever a wooden stick for. Sticking a piece of photo etch to with some tiki tack. We have some tiki tack over here. Lighter for burning off the super glue. But that's my mainstay of where constantly stays the same, and I have randomly access. I want to slightly move the camera here back to its original position. Hopefully. Okay, now we're back to the original position. And now I have this. This is a thing my wife gave me that she had nail stuff in. And I was like, ooh, can I have that? She said, fine. So, because I would have kept asking. I'm rude like that. So in here I have rough, coarse, flat files. In here I have micromesh files and flexi files and squadron product files. It's my main larger file section. These are detail file sanders that have belts on them with different edges, and you can rotate the belts and things like that. I use them sometimes. They're great for getting injector pins out. I have two different types of super glue. I have this black, medium thick, high performance premium silicone alkylate from Starbond. It's fortified with rubber particles. It is fantastic. It is durable. It is strong, and it dries black. So if you're filling with it, and it fills nice gaps. Well, I have to say something about Starbond super glues. Starbond is by far the greatest super glue I've ever used. I have a bunch of different brands. I have Bob Smith Industries. I have Zap-A-Gap products. But the Starbond super glues are the best I've ever used. I bought them personally. I'm not sponsored by them. They never sent me anything. They're not paying me to say this. But they are by far the best super glues I have ever used. They are strong. They are durable. They have a high tensile strength for snapping. And compared to, and it's an industrial super glue. It's not a model maker super glue. It is a hardcore industrial super glue. I used it at work to glue metal to metal, and then machine that metal, and then use a debonder to unconnect it. So that's how durable it is. I can machine metal with it stuck to another piece of metal. It's insane. Not the rubber stuff, but their general Starbond, like thin or medium. They have a bunch of different cups. And then I have a slow gap thick CA that I mix with acrylic nail powder to make a thick supporting substance. And then I occasionally use this Fuller Expert plastic glue. It's a good glue. It does eat through paint, so it comes in handy if I need to do that. I have various different brushes for dusting off products. And then I have brushes that are my instant access for painting something quickly. And then I have some of these little ball sanders for purposes. Retractable X-Acto. And then I have thin standing sticks. And then also in here is a very dull scalpel blade that I use for opening boxes and various things. And then I have my two clippers, both Tamio. They're sharp point clippers, and then they're 1, 2, 3 clippers. That's what I use for that. I have a I believe this is 2.5 by 2.5 by 1 steel block. What this comes in useful for is weird. It comes in useful like gluing apart flush. You can do that. Just a steel block this size is very useful. Very useful. And then I also have a rubber block that is useful for other things. Rolling photo etch, different things like that. They just stay there. I have a dispenser of IPA alcohol. You just push down and it flows up. I have my water pot with dirty water in it for painting, which needs to be changed. And then I have this carousel with paintbrushes, alligator clips on sticks, liquid mask, microsol, micro crystal clear, micro liquid tape, my Mr. Color Hobby stuff I use, the thinner I use for cleaning brushes, Citadel plastic glue, straight cross-lock tweezers I use for holding sanding foam, sanding sponge, and then smaller ones I use for the same thing, and my pointy stick. That's that. Oh, and I have my soldering iron in here. And then just tons of brushes of different good to crap to cheap to garbage. Just a wide range. Then over here I have some sandpaper, my trumpeter sanding things that I have sponges to, and then I have sandpaper too for various things. That's over here with some sandpaper and a piece of jean material to clean off that stuff. Like unload. I don't wear jeans because it's Florida and it's hot. So I have a piece of scrap jean there. And then then I have a rack over here in the back that holds my project mat, my magnetic project mat that I talked about in many videos. It's magnetic and it holds these cups. And then I put the part in, put the number there, and I know what the part is. And I can cut off, 20 parts at a time and just clean them all up and then build. Then I have this little office organizer that has 3 drawers and then some slots in the back. And in the slots in the back are my reference for the project I'm working on. And then this cutting board that is polyethylene that I use for photo etch. I also have a piece of glass that I use for photo etch that is smooth. This little guy right here is fantastic. It's a little decal set from Trumpeter. And you put water in here and then you put it down and they get wet. And then when they're ready, you just pop it up and then they sit there and then you can take them off and do things like that. But I mainly just sit the decals up here like this. And then I have a bottle of specially designed decal water that I use. This is just water with some vinegar in it. And I just put some drops on the decal and let it sit. It tends to float up. And I don't seem to have a problem. So, seems to work pretty well. I have my electric toothbrush that I turned into a sander with different attachable heads. This one happens to have Velcro for quick change. Then I have a Dremel with a micro shaft that's on a foot pedal that's not turned on. That comes in handy periodically. Next to me is my spray booth. I'll get into that in another video when I do a tour. This is mainly about tools that I use on a daily basis. This thing is pretty cool that I used and I set it up. It came with a thing I bought my son to hold his hobbying, but it holds your instructions and you set them off to the side and it keeps them upright. He doesn't like it. So I use it and I keep my instructions up in the distance so I can see what I'm working on. So that's it. It's just a quick little tour, well, the 20-minute tour, of my most commonly used, what's in my grab reach area of tools that I currently use, and stuff like that. So if you have any questions about anything I use or comments or anything, leave it in the comments. I'll answer what you got. If you want to know where I got something specific, I'll try to answer it. Some things I don't remember because I've gotten them a long, long time ago, or I've gotten them, when I was working as an engineer, and I don't know where they came from at that point. So that'll do it for this video. For Crazy Gamer Models, I am the Crazy Gamer. You guys have a fantastic day.